Hello everybody and welcome to this 19th edition of the Paris to Ancaster race. As you can see today, well, Mother Nature not making it easy for the riders here. And another thing to pay attention to during this race is that we have some of the top riders in the world. Part of this race today, Roger Hammond, 4 times in the top 10 at Paris-Roubaix. Mike Garrigan, one of Canada's best cyclists, and also turning up today will be Leigh Hobson, a 3rd place finish at a Montreal World Cup and also a member of the 2008 Canadian Olympic road team. The riders are in for a lovely day of riding through 60 kilometers of some of Ontario's gnarliest terrain, but also some of the fastest. So stay with us as we will cover this 19th edition of Paris to Ancaster right here today with beautiful rain.
Thanks, Randy. And while organizers are setting up the finish line in Ancaster, we managed to catch up with a couple of well-known names at the start area in Paris.
So we're here with Roger Hammond, a podium member of the Paris-Roubaix and also a 4-time top 10 finisher. Roger, this isn't Paris-Roubaix today, but we're not far off with this weather.
No, that's true. It's pretty epic. It's quite bizarre in my career. I did 9 Roubaix and I never did one in the rain. So for me, this is, a unique experience. So looking forward to it. I think to me, to be honest with you, it adds to the challenge. I think people can really... Throughout the race now, the leaders, it's an epic race, and for people just completing the course, it will make it more epic. So couldn't ask for a better day, really.
We had to ask the question, Roger, what brought you here to Paris to Ancaster?
There's a lot of things, Firstly, I grew up off-road. My first bike race as a competitive cyclist was a cyclocross race. And then, my first international victory was a race, Niagara Grand Prix. So organised by a certain Tim Farrar and sponsored by a certain Paul Namey. So, I've come over. It's a bit of reminiscing and, I just love these kind of things. As a professional, you very rarely get to ride these events where you can soak up the atmosphere of just the guys that love riding their bike. And, it's nice for me sometimes just to come and get involved with these people and, just chat. I mean, on Friday we went out for a ride with some guys and went to a cafe afterwards and just sat and chatted bike racing. And after all, it was my job, but it was also my passion. So, yeah, I love it. You can see I'm happy and enthused. So, and if you imagine, I've been 15 years a professional. It's I hope that it shows that I'm actually excited to be here.
With Mike Garrigan now. Mike, you're in the running for a win today. You said you were here to win, and you're just talking to Roger Hammond. Any bets being placed right there?
No bets. It's all friendly right now, so it's it's going to be a great day.
What are your expectations? You've seen the course. It's difficult. This weather's not helping. What are you expecting here today?
Well, I think everyone's going to have a challenge with the weather just because it's so cold. And it's not cold, but it's just really wet. So clothing will be important today, and staying positive will be important today. Yeah.
Is this one of the races where you're going to go from the gun, or are you going to wait a while?
We'll see how it plays out. I like going from the gun, but I like riding with the group too. So I don't know. We'll decide when we get out there.
Best of luck, Mike. Have fun.
Thanks.
This year's lineup also includes many Ontario strongmen like Nathan Chown, Peter Moog and Jared Forrest, as well as Alberta cyclocross champ Aaron Schouler and other former PDA winners. As usual, the day started early with riders out warming up on the streets of Paris, only to be greeted by some torrential rain which lasted right through to start time. Of course, races like this wouldn't happen without the help of sponsors, and the P2A continues to have some very loyal sponsors over the years. This year's course is virtually unchanged, with the exception of an additional off-road section near the midway point of the race. Co-organiser Tim Farrar describes the new section, known as Prenderland Lane, as a fairly smooth farm lane, but one that will be tricky when it's wet. Tension in the corrals is building as the start time creeps closer, with riders waiting in anticipation of some exciting racing. And they're off. Wave 1, the licensed racers, including some formidable names in the lineup, heading out to Ancaster, and as you would expect, they are not wasting any time racing eastwards and out of Paris, Ontario. As you can see, conditions are less than ideal, with rain forecast until at least into the early afternoon. It took a few minutes just to get the entire first wave out of the corrals and underway. Now wave 2 and 3 with almost 2,000 riders going the distance today. The pace is brisk, with riders jockeying for position approaching the first rail trail. The key is to be in a good position for the end of that rail trail in about 8 kilometers, where there's quite a difficult section. Let's see how things work out. looks like we have a break, almost a copy of last year, with Mike Garrigan getting a gap, this time with two other riders, Aaron Schooler and Nathan Chown. These are three very strong riders now off the front. The lead breakaway now entering the first section of off-road single track. It'll be interesting to see if this causes a further split. There's a 10-second gap to the main chase group of riders, which includes Peter Moog, four-time and current Master National Cyclocross champion, as well as former PTA winners Mike Simonson and Matthias Smith. The breakaway group exits the first single track section still intact, with the winner of the 2010 and 2011 PTA, Mike Garrigan. Also Aaron Schooler, a cyclocross specialist who placed third in the Elite Nationals last year, and Nathan Chown, a road specialist and former PTA winner. A formidable group off the front. And there they go, you saw the glance and now the attack by Mike Garrigan. The main chase group are already a minute behind as these guys set a blistering pace in deplorable conditions. We're now at the Highway 24 crossing, over 16 kilometres into the race. It's Mike Garrigan and Aaron Schooler still together, with Nathan Chown about 15 seconds behind. After Highway 24, it appears that Nathan Chown has dropped back completely, so it's just Garrigan and Schooler leading the race by several minutes. Meanwhile, back at Highway 24, the main chase group is almost 2 minutes behind, but still battling it out in an effort to keep the breakaway within reach. There's Aaron Schooler taking some food. It's important at this constant high pace to keep nourished, and there's still a long way and a lot of hard riding still to come. The leaders are now through Harrisburg, and Garrigan has got a gap from Schooler somewhere on the rail trail or technical section. It looks like about a 15-second gap. Back with the main chase group with Peter Moog, Eric Joban and Michael Simonson. They're still working hard, but have lost a few more seconds and are over 2 minutes behind the breakaway. I see Nathan Chown has now joined this group. Oh, and this shows just how treacherous the roads can be. Here's the lead woman on the road, Mandy Dreyer, with a group working very hard. The main chase group is still intact, but losing seconds as they eke in and out of the laneways and off-road sections. The feed zone in Harrisburg, about halfway, is staffed by awesome volunteers and is an important point for riders to get some nourishment in preparation for the tough obstacles still to come. The main chase group is still intact, with Michael Simonson leading the charge down the new section of Prendelin Lane. Now this section belongs to a farmer who came from Holland as a youth after the war, and he was thrilled to play a part in this European-style race. While this lane is fine in dry conditions, it's much more tricky in the mud. Further back, riders are working hard to keep the pace. This group is about 30 minutes behind the leaders, but seem to be enjoying the challenge. Riders are now spread out over a 38-kilometre stretch, and this group, containing masters Steve Smith, Mike Peschko, Brian Truman and Peter Kaufman, are battling through the single track, and they're about 11 minutes behind the leaders. could almost mistake this part of Ontario for northern European countryside, a very fitting backdrop for this race. Back to the breakaway leaders, who are now together again and approaching the Powerline Road, and now less than 15 kilometres from the finish. As you can see from the flick of Schuller's arm signalling Garrigan to take a pull, that they are working together, but just how long will that last? Well, we're into some tricky technical sections now, and Mike Garrigan has managed a gap. Looks like about 15 seconds as he come down the Powerline mud chute. Here come the chase group down the mud chute, but they've lost some more time as they're about 7 minutes behind the lead breakaway now. Nathan Chown has forged ahead to try and bridge the gap, but it's likely too late to catch the two leaders at this late stage with only about 8 kilometres to go. The mud chute is causing the usual mayhem, and many riders just elect to run it. Mineral Springs is the last chance to recover before the final hard 2 kilometres up to the finish line, but there's not a lot of recovery going on with these riders battling for finishing positions. We're on the final climb up Martin Road. Garrigan has a gap of about 15 seconds to Schuller, and then there's a long gap before the next rider, Nathan Chown. You can see on Mike Garrigan's face that he's digging deep to take the win again. This will be his third P2A in a row, and he'll be tied with former Olympian Seamus McGrath for P2A Grand Champion of 3 wins each. Mike Garrigan takes a win in 1 hour 48 minutes, with Aaron Schuller in second, Nathan Chown in third, and in the women's, Mandy Dreyer takes her first P2A win. Let's just sit back and take in some of the sights on the epic climb in the finish area in Ancaster.
Good times, super hard. here. I'm getting there. Great race.
Paris Ancaster, we didn't have some type of drama with weather. It's all good. Hey,
they're going to be working together with
mudslide,
and all kinds of hardware and keeping my old creek.
I'm from Saguenay. It's 2 hours up north, Quebec City.
So we are with our top 2 finishers, Aaron Schooler and Mike Garrigan, winning it today. Mike, it was a hard-fought battle. You guys really went right from the gun. I think it took about 1 kilometer and you were way off the front. How did that unfold, Mike, and when did you feel you had it in the bag?
Well, there's a corner that's really decisive that everyone knows about. There's no monkey business. As soon as you turn right there, it's just everyone goes as hard as they can, and there's a natural selection. There was another rider that came with us, and then Aaron and I were behind him, and we're like, yeah, okay, just you and me. So we went on our own. That was Nathan. Sorry, Nathan. So Chown, yeah. So the 2 of us, Aaron and I, went, and then we were working really well together for a while until Aaron had a crash, and I had a moral dilemma whether I should slow down and wait for him or charge on, and then I decided, okay, it's game on. And then that was it. We were racing.
Aaron, you put up a good fight today, and despite that crash, you were really going at it. You even placed a few attacks. Tell us about how that went, because at one point you were telling me, Ron, he was just too strong during those attacks.
Yeah, Mike was going pretty hard. I mean, any time it got technical, he'd kind of put the hammer down, and usually going into the technical sections, he'd put the hammer down. The biggest thing was, right after the major selection happened on that road, it was like gravel, and if you couldn't ride cross, you weren't up there. But it split there, and it was just the 3 of us, and we kind of put the hammer down on. I put the hammer down on a hard section road that was pretty steep. And then it just we got a massive gap after that.
Well, he had 2 of Canada's best cyclocrossers with him. And that being said, I think that today they really were conditions, and this course really was for a cyclocross crowd. Would you say that?
Yeah, totally. The cyclocross bike was ideal.
Well, gentlemen, congratulations. Mike, congratulations. You've won the 19th Paris to Ancaster, and we wish you the best of luck as this season is kind of unfolding in a funny way. Road racing and mountain biking starting soon.
Great, looking forward to it.
Still real early for cross, so.
Congratulations, gents. Now with the Mandy Dreyer, winner of the women's race today. Mandy, as we can see, it was a nice dry day out there for you guys.
I stayed clean.
Yeah, how did you do that? Jokes apart, what was it like out there today? How did this race unfold for the women?
It was definitely muddy. It was tough to be able to draft behind people with all of the mud splattering off the back of the tires. So, yeah, it was a race between Laura Biatola, Sue Palmer, Lee Hobson, and I, and definitely a good stiff competition.
A good mix of cyclocross, road cyclists, mountain bikers. Mountain biking paying off for you? Those skills really rewarding today?
Yeah, definitely in the mud chutes it really paid off. That's where at the end with Sue Lee and I were pretty close together, and it was the mud chutes that being able to just surf through them that got me ahead. So.
Well, it's a great victory for edition number 19 of the Paris to Ancaster. Your impressions generally on the organization and how this race unfolded with 1,900 plus riders?
Oh, it's an amazing event. I absolutely love it. The sense of community that's here, from people that are trying to just finish the 35K to having, we have UCI riders, top riders in the world, so it's really great. And nice to have teammate Mike Garrigan in first place too, so pretty exciting day for us.
Yeah, double hitter for Lapierre. Congratulations, yeah. Mandy. And once again, we hope to see you next year for number 20.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Well, this has been another epic race. Thanks to Tim Farrar and John Thorpe the sponsors and the volunteers, but especially every rider that took part. And until next year, the 20th anniversary version, all the best.
Fantastic race. Thank you very much.